is the Orlando City Pregame Show. It is brought to you by Publix. Welcome into our Orlando studios. My name is Evan Weston. I am joined by the very dapper duo of Ali Krieger, two-time Women's World Cup champion.
A nice guy.
Miguel Gallardo, former Orlando City. Well, I'm just telling the truth. You guys look good. We're here. We're going to talk about this one. Orlando City and Atlanta United. Big game tonight. A lot of fresh faces for Orlando City. Pedro Galese going on international duty. Several others out. 4 changes tonight. Ali, what are you looking for?
Yeah, listen, this is going to be a fun match. Obviously, just like you said, they're going to have, players and different personnel because of international duty, injury, player management possibly, but the mentality should stay the same.
Yeah, and you know what? That's actually what I've been really impressed by is
just a lethal counterattack. New York would get one back, but it never quite felt like they were going to take this game. Orlando City had control throughout.
Absolutely, and that's what we've seen, and it's been so impressive throughout the season, is that from start to finish they have complete games. And I think here, yes, did Red Bulls score one, but then it ended up being great defensive play, great attacking mentality, and in the final third, and obviously putting the goals away when they counted.
Nice little one for Antonio Carlos there at the end of the game to get his first one in purple, and in the end it is a 3-1 victory for Orlando. See, how about that tackle from Kyle Smith at the end of the game, too?
He played brilliantly.
Absolutely incredible game. And we should talk about that because you've got guys like Kyle, you've got guys like Daryl Dike up at the front, stepping up and really making this team work no matter who's on the field.
one of the things I talked to Josema Bazan, the assistant coach for Oscar Pareja, is that they're really happy about the way that the guys that maybe wouldn't get the starting job in the beginning of the season, stepping up and creating great games and really contributing to the team. And Kyle Smith has been one of them. And of course, Daryl Dike, the emergence after the injury to Dom Dwyer, and Tesio Akindele going down a couple of times as well. He's been fantastic as well.
Well, let's take a look at just how this unbeaten streak has unfolded. 9 games without a loss. 6 of those are wins. 2-0-2 on the road to get 8 points in 4 away games. And, of course, allowing 1 goal or fewer in every match. It's just the consistency is mind-blowing, especially when you consider the circumstances that these teams are under.
Yeah, it's very difficult when you have to play these games, twice, 3 times a week and have to perform and have to get 3 points. You have a home game, away game. And these points matter, and to climb up the table, it's really crucial right now. So, I'm really impressed to see all the different personnel and how they're interchanging and playing well together.
And Kyle Smith, I mean, you're a fullback, Ali. This is not easy.
No, and I absolutely thought he played brilliantly. I mean, he had the most tackles last game and the interceptions, and I think his mentality was great. He went from playing left back and then having to jump to right back because of Ruan's injury, and really performed his best that I've seen in his short MLS career, I should say. And it's just impressive that he's able to go in and be that professional and apply what the coaches have been talking about in training to the games.
The fans actually chanting his name after the leaf to the team.
Absolutely. Obviously they've had these struggles, and there's a numerous amount of issues that we could obviously talk about with Atlanta. But here, they are playing well without their DPs. And they seem to be on a good stretch of games here, and obviously looking again tonight for another 3 points.
It seems to me
as of late. But, you get Joseph Martinez back for 2021. You get a new coach. Maybe things are looking up for Atlanta. Those things, though, are not happening tonight, as we'll see in just a moment. They will, however, be facing a new goalkeeper for Orlando City. Pedro Galese is with Peru for their...
Yeah, there's the same back four, obviously, because they did really well last game together. You obviously have a couple players coming into the lineup that are new in the starting positions. Pareja, I'm excited to see because he's a box-to-box midfielder. He's going to create that connection with Urso. And obviously Dike up top is going to score some goals, I hope.
Exact same... You are looking live at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia. Orlando City looking to push their unbeaten streak to 10 games in a row as they face off against Atlanta United. Evan Weston, Ali Krieger, Miguel Gallardo. It's the Orlando City pregame show presented by Publix. And guys, it is time for Certified Bangers. Let's take a look at the best goals of the past week. And we are very selective here, so we had to go
High
back
standards.
a little bit farther, but Bojan's goal deserved recognition.
You know what? This is just a poem of a goal, Evan. I can't get that hyped up because it's just a poem. Just appreciate this. Look at how well they strike this. And the goalkeeper for Red Bull, not in a million years, never gonna get there. Great goal.
Allie, how about this one from Lewis Morgan?
I mean, impressive. Higuain plays this ball, lays it off because he doesn't have a direct shot on goal, and Morgan just hits it first time. Class, world-class goal.
That
is
is
brilliant.
beautiful.
This is the one that won goal. Avoid something like that later tonight. Well, Orlando City not the only team in action this week. The Orlando Pride, with Allie included, will play Friday night. Duda Palau has more on the Pride's next game in the NWSL Fall Series.
Thanks, Evan. This will be the second time that these teams will face each other in 2 weeks during the NWSL Fall Series. On September 26, the Dash got a 3-1 win in Houston, where midfielder Marissa Vigiano scored the goal for the Pride. Head coach Mark Skinner expects improvements on his young team that is going to take the field on Friday at Osceola County Stadium.
I think there's lots and lots for us to be better at. We've got to move the ball better. We've got to be better on the ball. We've got to want to have the ball a lot better than we did. Hopefully we can do that against them this time. It'll be difficult. They're in a good vein of form, and you know, our team have to pull together and make sure that we do everything right in order to get the result we want.
The NWSL Challenge Cup champions, the Houston Dash, are coming off a big 4-1 win over the North Carolina Courage. Kickoff on Friday is set for 5 p.m. and the match will be close to the fans, but you can still watch it on CBS Sports Network or join us at the Orlando Pride virtual watch party on social. Back to you, Evan.
Thank you very much, Duda. The Dash in pretty good form right now. The Challenge Cup winners as well. But this is going to be the first match you guys play in the state of Florida in almost a calendar year. What does that mean for you?
Yeah, this is going to be so enjoyable to finally play back home, you know, in our stadium and against one of the teams that doesn't have only one player overseas now on loan. So obviously we've taken a bigger hit, but I'm proud of the team for the mentality that we've brought into this fall series. It's about getting minutes. It's about playing again. It's about having fun and enjoying it. And I think obviously with a lot of our players missing or, you know, on loan overseas, we've been able to fill those holes, and it's been brilliant that those players have been able to, you know, help us play these games in the fall series, and that's most important, just to get minutes and get back out there and enjoy it.
Two more for the Pride. It's Friday night at 5 o'clock tonight for Orlando City. And Allie, when you look at Robin, what stands out to you as a defender about the way he plays that position?
That he's so proactive and not reactive in winning the ball back. And obviously his communication in the back line, you can tell on every play that he's demanding that excellence from his teammates and that support. And I think he's been a great leader for that back line and that unit.
And all those guys that have come in, you know, Joao Moutinho, Antonio Carlos Juan, all out tonight. Yeah. So you've got, you know, Kyle Smith, Kamal Miller, Rodrigo Schlegel, Alex DeJohn we've seen get minutes, and it hasn't mattered who's back there with him. He has the command and the respect of the group.
He's a player that makes everybody around him a better player, and you just feel confident when he's back there. And when you talk about how well Orlando City is doing this season, well, it tracks back to when you started to see Janssen come into the picture, because as soon as Janssen came in last year, the team became automatically better. And for a spell of time last year in Major League Soccer, Orlando City was one of the best defensive teams, and that was due to the contributions of Robin Janssen.
He's got a pretty cool moniker jersey, too. Take a look. And all of these City ID moniker jerseys are available at the Orlando City store online, ocmobileshop.com, and at the Den at Exploria Stadium. For more on tonight's matchup, though, let's throw it out to Atlanta. The head coach, Oscar Pareja, talking to our crew before the match. One of those players coming in tonight, Benji Michel, who is in many ways the face right now of the Orlando City Academy. 11 goals in all competitions as a pro, the most by far of any homegrown player for Orlando City. Let's hear a little bit more from Benji Michel on his tremendous 2020 season. That kind of goes to the whole spirit of this team right now, though, right? I mean, they're just having fun together.
Yeah, if that's not indicative of where this team is in the chemistry, I don't know what is. But I love this from Benji Michel because I think a lot of the players growing up in the system for Orlando City right now, currently in the system, can look at him in a way not only because of his contributions, but about his mentality, how grateful he is and how much he really doesn't take for granted any opportunity he gets.
And you look at David Loera debuting on Saturday, a couple more homegrowns on the bench tonight. Exciting times for the youngins in Orlando City. Of course, the star players out to play as well. And
Yeah, he's talking about how he played for 90 minutes last time Orlando City played at Mercedes-Benz versus Atlanta United. He's very happy about being a Team of the Week mention because it gives him confidence to continue to work and put his work rate for the better of the team, and the team continues to win, and obviously that makes him happy, and he's very happy to continue to have the opportunity to maximize his full potential. And he did maximize his full potential last time where he played 90 minutes versus Atlanta United. And as we take a look at some of the plays that actually happened in this particular game, was actually Junior Urso's first goal as an Orlando City player off a corner kick alley. What a phenomenal player he has been for Orlando City.
He's been so great and brilliant in midfield. He's been the connector. He's been great on both sides of the ball, defensive and then attacking and combining. This has always been my favorite goal, I think, of Orlando City so far. Everyone's involved. The ball is constantly moving, and they're very clinical in front of the goal.
Absolutely, and this is another thing that Orlando City did really well in this particular game, was their ability to press Atlanta United. This was actually Pity Martinez's last contribution in Major League Soccer. He's probably going to want to forget that one, but this is a great pass from Junior Urso. It shows the team spirit and how connected the team is. And, the team has been connected in so many ways, and they've scored in every which way. They're so multidimensional. We talked about how they can score goals during the build-up. They can talk about during the counter press, but counter-attacking goals is something that they've been very, very good at. And as we take a look at one of the opportunities they had versus FC Dallas, where unfortunately it was a missed chance by Junior Urso, but it's about the mentality of what they're trying to do. This is Pedro Galese immediately transitioning from recovering the ball to playing the ball into space for Luis Nani. This is a phenomenal run from DK to open up the space, and guess who's coming in the back? Junior Urso. He runs the most, he runs at the highest speed, and he's able to get a great opportunity that unfortunately he misses due to a great save by Jimmy Maurer. He had a phenomenal, he was able to get the clean sheet as well as Orlando City did, but this time he will make it count, Ali.
I think it's brilliant because, like I said before, it's a team effort. These transitional moments, I feel like it's intentional to get the ball forward with 3 passes or less. And it's just been brilliant by City and always having these 3 or 4 options around the ball, constantly around the ball carrier. And this is a brilliant pass through. Junior Urso once again cuts in front of the defender to have this free shot on goal, and he makes it count. And I think you know what to expect from him by now, and he's played brilliantly these past few games.
All right, guys, you've seen this counter-attacking style now for Orlando City in that game. We have a team out there tonight for Orlando that is kind of built to do that. And in that game that you guys were talking about against Atlanta United back on August 29th, Orlando City only had 38% of the ball in that game. They did kind of counter Atlanta. Not that they weren't the protagonists, they still controlled the game, but they kind of did it in a different way. Do you expect a little bit more of that style tonight?
Well, that's the beauty of the system, right? Oscar Pareja talks about the model and always finding a way. And to be the protagonist, that doesn't mean that you have to have the possession of the ball all the time. You have to be the protagonist when it comes to the result. And the way they've been, the team that controls the tempo, the protagonist of the game versus Atlanta United at their stadium last time was them allowing Atlanta United opportunities to maybe play out of the back and then biting at the right time. That turned into goals for Orlando City.
Absolutely, and I think they have to do that tonight, whether the personnel is changing or not. There's only 4 or 5, personnel changes, but I think that mentality has to be the same. You have to go in there, put high press, put Atlanta on their heels in order to find that success. And I know that they're going to get those attacking opportunities in the final third. Now it's just having to make sure that there's 100% goal scoring chances.
Well, we're going to find out exactly what happens in just a few minutes. Orlando City and Atlanta United will start when we come back. You've watched the Orlando City pregame show. Test drive a Ford SUV today. This is the Ford Halftime Show. I'm Evan Weston. That's Ali Krieger. And that's Miguel Gallardo. It's 0-0, no score at the break between Orlando and Atlanta. Orlando probably had the better run of the game, Allie, but Brad Guzan keeping Orlando City from finding the lead.
Yeah, his distribution has been great. He made 2-3 great saves to keep Atlanta into it. But I also think that Atlanta is just trying to disrupt Orlando on both sides of the ball and just get the ball out wide, serve it in. So Orlando needs to have that second line and win those second balls in second line of defense once they win it in the box. So I think that's basically it that I've seen from Atlanta to disrupt Orlando. And Orlando's keeping that high press, which has been great. And even with the personnel change, there's no mentality difference between this game and last.
Yeah, a lot of new faces out there tonight for Orlando City. Miguel, what do you think of some of the new guys? You know, Brian Rowe, Joey Desart, Robinho tonight.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, this was an incredible reaction save. Listen, and with his experience, I think he is fully capable of doing that. Great work by him and coming in and making that first save.
Robinho.
Impressive, obviously. Brian coming in and with his experience, and he was, had stayed ready, so he didn't have to get ready for this moment. And that, builds trust within the team, and you know what to expect from him, and he played brilliantly.
It was a year ago yesterday that Brian Rowe played for the last time in a competitive match. That's how long it has been for him, waiting for his chance, and boy, was he brilliant tonight.
Yeah, he was. And no, Ali, I don't like talking about good saves from the other goalkeepers, but yes, I am happy to talk about Brian Rowe because this is going to go a long way when it comes to his confidence. He's going to have to play games that are very important to Orlando City because of the moment in which the team is right now, having to endure injuries, having to endure players going on international duty. It's going to come to really tough matches, and Brian Rowe to be able to get a clean sheet, only the third one of the season for Orlando City, it's really going to spark up his confidence and set him up for success.
Well, I thought Kamal Miller had a spectacular game, Allie.
Great game and very impressive. Also, not being afraid to go into the attack. Yes, his 1v1 defending was good, but he also impressed me tonight just making the right decisions on the ball going forward and providing those balls, into the feet of the forward and into the feet of the forwards, and also in the being composed and playing with the midfield into the final third. So that was impressive to me. And also Desart. I know we spoke about this, off camera, but I think he's been phenomenal too. I think just his control in midfield, his combination play, combining with Junior Urso to get forward, and that was impressive to me, always being in a position of support.
Bunch of guys you could have picked for Heineken. You always notice with Brian how deferential he is to his teammates, right? He's the consummate teammate, always giving the guys success. It was something we really noticed about him last year.
Yeah, I noticed his hair too. Very nice. Always.
You've been trying for it all
year.
I'm
very jealous. But no, look, on his comments, it's hard enough to get 11 players within the players missing. Every time somebody steps in, the team does not lose his identity, and that's big time.
Let's take a look at the statistics from tonight's game. As you see, at 6
shots. They would get the ball wide and then look to serve it in to pick players out. But luckily, Orlando City, had good defensive shape, and they were able to attack the ball and not allow them to be in those specific areas for goal scoring opportunities.
We'll have had the full 3 points, as we'll see in just a moment, but. They'll take the point. They'll go to 10 unbeaten as they go to take on Columbus on Sunday. Evan Weston, Miguel Gallardo, Ali Krieger. This is the Heineken postgame show. And I guess there's nothing left to say. Let's go to the highlights that brought to you by Explorer.
Carried on through the game.
And then Orlando would get one more chance in the second half. Robinho hits the post, and then a good save by Guzan on Kyle Smith.
And he does so well here to, have Guzan assume that he's going far post, but then he, at the last second, hits it near post, but Guzan does a great job with his footwork to get up to save the second shot that Kyle Smith took.
Guzan in form of...
Chance of the night for either team.
Just an exciting player, isn't he, Ali? Just anytime he touches the ball, he creates something.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the patience that he has in the final third to get that extra touch to create that little space for himself to get a better shot on frame.
Great shot there from Eli.
El Oso was not as sharp tonight as he was last game.
So Orlando City do end up with a 0-0 draw tonight. After that, really a great performance by the team defensively. A really young team, 4 changes, so many players out with injury and through international duty. One of the guys stepping in, Joey Desart, a second-round rookie out of Wake Forest, making his first professional start for Orlando City. Let's hear from Joey Desart after tonight's match.
to shine, and he comes from great pedigree. He comes from Wake Forest, a university that's known for playing, for treating the ball well, for playing tiki-taka. And Joey Desart, there's no chance, and you know as well as I do, that there is no opportunity that Oscar Pareja and his coaching staff miss to talk highly of Joey Desart.
Yeah, every time that we talk about the central midfield with him, they always go out of their way to mention him. I know you were really impressed with him tonight, Ali. What did you like the best from his performance?
I think he just was smart on the ball. He played so simple on both sides of the ball, and then his 360 defending as well was really impressive. As soon as we lost the ball, he was right there to try and win it back. And I think for these younger players, what's really important is that the only way they're going to gain this experience is if they play. And so putting them in these matches and the way that they play in training, and then just to apply that to the game is so huge for them. And you see that the coaching staff is instilling this confidence. The players are instilling that support and that confidence as well. And they're really doing a great job.
Another young guy, Andres Perea, had an outstanding match. He is one of our Audi top performers tonight.
Chinning.
I'm not going to acknowledge that with a response. It is this third
hot.
straight season for Cincinnati, and then Toronto would actually be 3 points clear of Philly and Columbus, with Orlando 4 points back in the Supporters' Shield race. And, you know, the Shield this season, of course, the schedules are unbalanced and the year is short, but being at the top of the league is still something that you would always have. It's an accomplishment that you can always hold up. And there are 4 teams right now, really 5 if you look at Seattle, that have a chance to do it and seem to have the quality to get it done as well.
Absolutely. It's a tough, top of the table, but it's really important that you go into every single game wanting to win and wanting to be at the top of the table, because the Shield is also just as important as winning the MLS Cup. And I think that it's so important that you go into each game, one game at a time, and that it's the most important game of the season.
And it'll be a 6-pointer, Sunday, 7:30 p.m. on Fox 35+. Orlando City, Columbus Crew. This is a Crew team that, like Orlando, did not make the postseason last year, and like Orlando, has had a huge 2020. What have they done right to get into this position?
Spend money. That's what they've done right. They brought Ceboy, looks like Celerian won't be available, but this is going to be such an important match because, as Ali said, you want to finish at the top of the table. But most importantly for me, guys, I think is the form in which you enter the playoffs. Right now, it's good to be on top of the table. For me, is how do you get to the playoffs? Because as we've seen many times, LAFC, you come into the playoffs with not the top form, and bad things can happen.
Yeah, well, and we've seen Columbus slip a little bit due to those injuries over the last couple of weeks, but the guy they still have is Gyasi Zardes, and you might be seeing the present against the future of the striker position for the U.S. men's national team in this game between Gyasi Zardes and Daryl Dike.
Absolutely, and he has such a great protege to help bring along. I think that Zardes has been such a clinical finisher for years in this league and has done so well. And obviously for Columbus this year is hugely the reason why they have success. And then Daryl Dike just following in those types of footsteps and really impressive and impactful for Orlando City and his own club here in the MLS as well.
I got to tell you, I'm excited to see Daryl Dike against Jonathan Mensah. There's a lot of talk about Jonathan Mensah as the defender of the year in the league. Daryl Dike is a whole lot to handle. Jonathan Mensah might be one of the few people in MLS who actually has the size to go up with Daryl Dike one-on-one.
Yeah, it's all about battles, but Orlando City, Daryl Dike does so much for Lax, and I just don't think that Mensah is going to go with him 1v1. I think he's going to need help from the other center back for Columbus Crew. So, but it is an exciting match. But I think for Daryl Dike, there's still a lot of growth that he has to do. For Zardes, you got to give him the respect. Right now, he still has some time left with the U.S. men's national team, as he is actually the replacement of Josie Altidore because of all those injuries. But it is exciting for the U.S. men's national team to have players that have a great potential.
Yeah, it is certainly Oscar Pareja doing his best to help along the U.S. men's national team youth pipeline. The game is going to have a